Welcome to third module of animation. In this module, you will learn about the Autodesk Maya graphical user interface, the navigation tool in Maya, and we will also discuss about the viewport configuration of Maya application. So let's start to getting know the user interface UI of Autodesk Maya application. The Maya has an interface element that group all similar commands together. For example, all the commands for controlling the viewports are grouped together into the viewport navigation control. The Autodesk Maya is really very complex software, so Maya has been divided into several sub-elements. First is the menu sheet, menus, status line, shelf, slide bar icons, view panels, channel box, layer editor, toolbox, quick layout button, time slider, range slider, playback control, animation character menus, and command line, and finally help line. We can divide Maya graphical user interface in these sub-elements. So let's start to discuss about all elements 101. So we are getting started with the menu sets. The menu sets are the type of menus. Categories are modeling, rigging, animations, effects, and the rendering. Here you can see into the drop-down list, this all modeling, rigging, animation, effects, and rendering options are available. Accordingly, when you hit on modeling, related to modeling, you can see the several options in top of menus. When you hit onto the animation, according to animation, the menu has been changed. The Autodesk Maya first 7 menus are fixed and rest change on the menu set you choose accordingly. The menu contains both tool and action to work into the Autodesk Maya application. The main menu is at the top of Maya window. There are several individual menus are available for the panels and the option window. You can also access the menus in the main menu, or you can use the hotbox also with the help of hitting the spacebar from your keyboard. Here you can see the hotbox of Maya application. Directly you can navigate all the menus with this hotbox option. You can activate the hotbox using the holding down the spacebar into the viewport. Status line. The status line contains icon for the common use of command such as object selection, snapping option, rendering, and more. Moving to the shelf. The shelf contains the tab that represent each menu sheet. The real power of shelf is that you can create custom shelves also. Then it makes shortcut to quickly access within a single click. For example, if you are working on a model, then you may require the modeling related options. Then for retesting the render testing, you may require a render icon over there. So you can customize your own shelf with the help of this shelf menu, and accordingly you can customize your own shelf as per your requirement. So this is a really very interesting feature which you can utilize in further upcoming practical session in Maya application. Sidebar icons. The sidebar icons are the right end of the status line. It opens up the tool to the attribute editor. The tool setting and the channel box you can access with the help of sidebar icons. The view panel. The view panel offers the different way of viewing the object into your scene. You can also display different editors into the view panel. For example, you can use the perspective view with top view only. You can switch this one perspective view with hypershade view also. You can switch this one perspective view with graph editor also when you are using animation. Moving to the channel box. You can edit attributes. You can animate the value for the selected object. In channel box, you can majorly work with the object position, rotation, and scaling. But in channel box, you can also, there are some options available like their visibility and their component attributes also. The layer editor have two types of layer options in Maya application. First is the display layer and second is the animation layer. Display layers are used to manage the object. For example, if you have to manage the visibility and the selection ability of the object, you can use the display layer options. But when you have to work onto the animation, then you can use the animation layer. Animation layers are used to blend, lock or mute multiple level of animation also. Moving further to the toolbox. It's a really very essential graphical user interface part of the Maya application. The toolbox can help you to select and the transformation of object into the scene. You can use the Q, W, E, R, T, Y button to use the selection tool, move tool, rotate tool, scale tool and to show the manipulators. And you can use the Y button to access the last tool also. The quick layout button help you to switch between the useful layout of the panel within single click. Here you can see these are the quick layout options are available into the viewport. With the help of quick layout button, you can directly work with the outline and perspective. You can switch to the hypersheet, to perspective. These are the some templates available with the quick layout button. Now moving to a time slider. Time slider is really very useful for animation. It shows the time range. The time slider also displays the current time and the keys of the selected object. We can select the key and drag it also to the new frame to the change of animation frame also. With the help of time slider, you can set from where your data would be start to animate and where it should be finished. But there is one more option here you can see called the range slider. So range slider would be the appropriate option to use for playback range to set the animation. Therefore, we can easily modify or correct the animation to focus on a smaller portion of the whole animation. So when we work with the range slider, we can easily work in a small part of animation. After correction of that small part, then we move further to the next part. So when we are working onto the project, range slider is really very helpful options when we are working onto the big projects. Now we are switching to the playback controls. The playback controls is available into the right corner of the graphical user interface. It helps you to play, pause of the animation as defined by the time slider. You can go to the frame first and frame last also with the help of playback control also. You can go to the next keyframe to previous keyframe also with the help of playback control option. Animation and the character menus. The animation or character menus are help to switch the animation layer and the current character set. We will discuss this animation character menu in detail when we will work onto the animation module. Moving to the command line. When we are working to the Maya Dynamics or FX part, then command line help to get input the Maya embedded language or Python program into it. Before work with a programming interface, we should be familiar to the programming language also to work here into the application. So in command line, you can directly write your script and you can execute also. There is a separate script window also available into the Maya to writing the script. When you are working into the big project, at that time you can utilize the script window also. Next and last is the help line. The helpline gives you the short description of the tools as you can scroll over them into the graphical user interface. When you overlay the mouse into some options, for example move tool, you can get the details about the move tool, selection tool or the rotate tool over there. This bar also helps you with the steps required to complete a specific tool of workflow. The viewport in Maya is very handy to use and it has two different navigation viewports, which is perspective and the orthographic view. Now I am going to teach you how to use the viewport and then navigate in it. If we want to work into the viewport, we should press the spacebar to maximize the viewport and the restore to 4 views. Just put your mouse pointer inside any of the viewport and gently press the spacebar to maximize it and restore of the viewport. Again hit the mouse pointer into it and hit the spacebar button. For full viewport, you can hit the control and spacebar simultaneously to get into the expert view also. You can do the particular view of maximizing the viewport with the help of control and spacebar. Now switching to the perspective view navigation. Perspective view navigation, which is also called the 3D view also. It is your primary view and the main view to work into it. It is the essential and the master viewport perspective navigation. There are some basic shortcuts which you can use when you are working into the perspective viewport to get work with your object or the model. For example, Alt and left mouse button for rotation, Alt and right mouse button for zoom in, zoom out, Alt and middle mouse button for pan left, right, up and down. So when you have to work into the orthographic view or the viewports, that's called the two-dimensional viewport also. It shows the 4 sides which help the top, the side view, the front view and the back view of any object. It is used to move, align, rotate the scale of the model into the 3D environment. It has only 2 shortcuts to get navigation into the orthographic view. First is the Alt and right mouse button. In shortcut you can say the RMB plus Alt also to zoom in and zoom out the viewport, and you can use the MMB middle mouse button to pan left, right or up down of the viewport. For centering your object, you can simply click the F button to focus the object from the keyboard. It is really very useful function to bring the particular model which want to work into it. It will bring that object inside the scene to your attention and centered into the viewport. By pressing the F button, it will exactly focus your object into the viewport. Hope now you have a better idea about the Maya viewport configuration, and now you can easily navigate with the models, or you can easily work into the graphical user interface of Maya application after completion of this module.